Ladies and gents, it's about 1 degree out here. I'm freezing. I've barely slept because I've got a slightly unwell 3-year-old. It's time for a delirious and ill-prepped alternative paper review. First up this morning, we're going to the Times. We're taking a well-earned break from telling us how huge and unhealthy we are to drag our attention, kicking and screaming, back to the subject of Rwanda. PM faces more turbulence with threat of another Rwanda revolt. Of course, those of you in the know will know that this was always going to happen. When the PM secured victory at the vote in December, it was never a victory. Sunak only managed to get that vote across the line and avoid a cataclysmic rebellion by promising constituency funding, by wining and dining members of the real ERG. Like, how weird is that we still don't know what compromises he made, what he agreed to hand over, how many millions he signed off to various local constituency MPs to just buy their vote. And it was reported at the time in the right-wing rags as victory for the PM. And I was like, no, that is not what happened here. Anyway, now they've kicked the can down the road, it's coming back to the Commons, and the same faces he bought off before are going to return to the benches with the same list of objections. And this is the rock and the hard place in which Sunak currently lives. You know, like, he can't make it harsher and crueler, which is fundamentally what that lot all want him to do. He can't do that and stay within the parameters of international law and therefore, you know, be a responsible trading partner and attract nations to come and trade with us or to continue trading with us. So he can't really make it harsher. But also, if he leaves it as weak as it is now, or indeed makes it weaker to stay within the parameters of international law, well, then he's on course to suffer a bruising, humiliating Commons defeat on one of his flagship policies. Meanwhile, the Mail continue this post office story obsession. Like, I get it. It's a big story. But could we just all move on now a bit? Like, I know there's a lot of anger with this, but it all seems to be directed at this one woman. And now she's been forced to hand back her CBE. And I don't know, like, the whole thing to me just kind of reeks of that Sharon Shoesmith thing back with Baby P. Or Fred Goodwin with regards to the credit crunch and the banking crash. Like, here you have a complex story about government funding, outsourcing, corporate arrogance. But it always just has to be, like, whittled down into a story about a baddie. Like, you just need a face, don't you, that you can put all of the blame on. And to be honest, even if you do think she personally is responsible for all of this, that's fine. But honestly, I would have thought after people like Mogg, Fabricant and Tim Martin getting honours, making her keep her CBE would have been more appropriate. Anyway, if I try to be serious here just for a moment, because I saw an interesting clip getting shared around this morning. It was of Ollie Dugmore, which, if you're not familiar with Ollie Dugmore, go and give him a follow, seek him out on Twitter. He's a very intelligent, articulate, left-leaning journalist. He looks a bit like me, but more attractive. He's a more attractive version of me. But anyway, he was saying, you know, this is an indicator of classism. And I think that's bang on the money, because the people who worked for the post office who were accused of these things, which was what, like, I don't know, stealing a little bit of money, you know, £50 here, £100 there. The people who were accused of those things and who didn't actually do them, their penalty for those crimes, or little crimes, was what? Getting fired, getting fined, suicide, jail time. Like, that is how hard society comes down on working class people, regardless of if they've done the thing. And then you have this other class of people who are in, you know, upper management and the C-suite, the executives. And what is their penalty for inflicting, literally inflicting, so there's no question mark about it, these people are responsible for it, for inflicting those suicides, those jail sentences on those people. What is their penalty? It is, you got to hand back your medal.